Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Vanilla Mindcrack. It's been a while. I do apologise, but I have decided on a couple of things. First of all, I have decided that I think I am pretty much done for now with digging the hole. It's quite large. It's not finished. Let's see if we can get this guy. Yeah. Come on. Boing! You should get dings if you hit mobs as well. That would be quite nice. Something else I wanted. I want, ow! It's got thorns. If you aim, if you just pull back and fire, it does its normal random, let's do it like 10 degrees out from wherever you fire, like it's doing at the moment. But if you hold it, that narrows down. So you get more accurate the longer you hold it. I thought that'd be a brilliant mechanic to put in, but apparently not. Anyway, so yes, this hole was supposed to go up here, all the way up to that curved edge, all the way along here. That's where the hole is supposed to end. And it'll probably softly go in, not straight edges. But it's kind of sucking my will to live right now. So, you know, probably a good idea to do something else. Which is what we're doing. We're going to start doing the build. As you see, I've laid down some bits and bobs to start. Yeah, I've lost my train of thought there. So I just had a message from somebody. So yes, I'm building. A lot of people have questioned what I'm doing with the hole, and I think it's about time we start filling that there hole. I think once I've done that, I can start shaping off the rest of the hole to fit. I think that's possibly part of the problem. Is you know, without the thing in a hole, I'm just making the hole, and it's not really, the two aren't combining properly. So let's start building things, which is what I'm doing now. As I say, I have pre-built this, so I'm kind of running off plans, which is why I will keep tabbing out like this, because I'm checking the plans. This is an overdub. I did record this normally, you know, but doing building like this takes so much concentration. It's very difficult to do a decent talk about something and build accurately, because if I make a boo-boo, then it's like in your maths exam, if you do, you know, you're working out a sum, an equation, whatever, but you do something slightly wrong at the start, everything beyond that is going to be wrong, and that could magnify considerably as you're going. So it's very important that I try and keep, you know, a lot of my attention on where the blocks are going. Otherwise it's going to come back and kick me up the arse later. So I decided to scrap the very bitty, lots of ums, lots of pausing. He says umming and pausing. The chat that was there was not good, so I decided to redo that and overdub it. So again, I'm not going to say what I'm building yet, not because I want to be an asshole, but because I want it to be a surprise. I want you to see it develop as we go. I was going to say a bit Rolf Harris, but that's another persona non grata these days. Yeah, back in the 70s, he'd do his drawing gig, you could tell what it is yet. And I want to do a bit of that, you know, build it out and people can guess. Maybe you can leave suggestions. I'm not going to tell you if you're right or wrong, but I mean, you're going to guess vaguely what it is, but you're never going to guess exactly what it is for quite a while, I don't think. But by all means, if you want to throw some suggestions down in the chat. It'll be interesting to see. As I say, I'm not going to confirm or deny. Maybe I might give a prize out to the person that does guess it first. And again, I have to be accurate. You know, I'm not just, yeah. Like if I was making an eagle, which I'm not, but if I was making an eagle and you said, "Oh, you're making a bird," then that wouldn't count. It's got to be specific. So yeah, throw them out. You're not going to get it for a while, but by all means, you can try and get an early one in. Hey, and maybe I'll give away. All right, let's do a proper running competition. I know Blue is going to give away a month's patron to PMC, and I'm going to do the same. She's got a competition coming up. Don't know when, possibly today. We'll check her out. But I'm going to do the same. The person that guesses correctly first is going to get a month's patron to PMC. Play Minecraft. Now, play Mindcrack. Sorry, bloody hell. If someone guesses it right today, I'm not going to say, okay, here it is. I'm going to leave it for a bit. So you're probably not going to get it until, I'm going to say at least July, possibly August. Just a warning. But I might even double it if it's an early one. There you go. I am feeling generous this morning. I don't know if I can back that up, but yes, if you get it, if you guess it within June, I will double it. So 2 months. Oh yeah, there you go. That's how I don't give you anything. Right, on with what I was originally going to talk about this episode, which was Wolfenstein. I've just finished playing it, and it was very enjoyable. I've said on the podcast I like the Wolfenstein IP. I think it's very good. It had lots of potential, and they've kind of run with that. If you don't know the story, it starts off with a little bit of tootling around in the 1940s, and then something happens, and then, you know, you go away, and you come back, and it's a 1960, and the Nazis have won the war. It's a great concept. It gives them a lot of leeway to play with you know, sort of futuristic ideas of what the sort of things that Mecha Hitler would get away with. Though there is no reference to Mecha Hitler, or indeed Hitler in general, which is a bit of a shame. It's got some pretty gross bits in it, for sure. There's some nasty stuff in it, and it's good. It's good. The characters make you really feel, you know, for some of the characters, especially at the end, which I don't want to do any spoilers for people that are playing it or stuff, but it's not a happy ending, and I like, you know, after you're going to be working through all this, I would quite like a happy ending. We don't really. It's not all roses at the end, which is a big shame. But I'm sure there will be a possibility for another outing for William J. Blazkowicz. I'm quite liking that they seem to have dropped the BJ Blazkowicz and gone more with a William this time, which I think is good for everybody. But yes, there is a lot of hard choices you have to make part of the way through, but it is essentially just a run and shoot. It is a mindless. I don't like using that phrase, actually. I was going to say it's a mindless shooter. But there's a good storyline. It's a really good storyline. As I say, it's really engaging. But I say mindless in the sense that they kind of throw believability out the window reality out the window for some things, such as, I've got 16 different gun options, and nobody's running around carrying a sniper rifle. So 2 sniper rifles, 2 shotguns, 2 assault rifles, 2 pistols, a clever weldy laser gun, a set of knives, and some grenades. Nobody is running around carrying that in reality. But I like having different tools for different jobs, and being able to swap between them with impunity. It's good fun. It's good fun. But it's still immersive. You don't sit there thinking, well, this is stupid. It's not going to happen. And it's just about killing Nazis, lots and lots of Nazis, and they come in waves. And I kind of like that. There's some stealthy bits. So you've got a knife with a silent takedown. So if you creep up behind somebody, you can click a button and give them a quite bloody attack and take them out. And that won't trigger the sirens. If somebody does walk into the person, which is a little bit awkward, most of the time that doesn't happen, but occasionally it will. But if someone does walk into, another Nazi walks into a dead body, then they can trigger it. But the paths are kind of designed to not really cross each other most of the time. But you can't move the bodies, so I think that's probably why they've done that pathing. You've also got a pistol with a silencer on, which you get the silencer fairly early in the game, so that's quite cool. And again, you can take them out with that if you so desire. There are sort of field commanders. So if you can take out all the field commanders, and you'll probably find in a large area there's probably 2 or so. Take them out, and then they won't trigger any alarms. But when you do trigger an alarm, you get obviously extra waves of bad dudes come in, which is quite cool. And you start off with a basic soldier, and then you get a bigger mech soldier, and you get at the end the guys with shotguns with ricocheting shrapnel. God, they are assholes. They really are. But every guy takes a different weapon to kind of put him down, so you got to start swapping and changing. And some guys go down quick with the rocket launchers. Some guys are better off shooting them with a gun. Some take the shotgun. So again, that's why you kind of want this different array of guns, and it's quite good fun. I like that. What else? There's a couple of little sort of fiddly, puzzly bits, like hot wiring sort of door mechanisms or something, which is a little bit tacked on, but it's all right. It's all right. There's a fair amount of interaction. The big boss at the end is not particularly challenging, really. Once you work out what you're supposed to do, which is pretty quick, to be fair. He's pretty vanilla. Nothing out of the ordinary. But yes, overall, great fun game. There's a couple of things that did annoy me, and not particularly anything more than the weird rendering system they've decided to use. Now, somebody said that they used it for Rage as well. I think it's Rage. And it's really annoying because I could not get it to record. This machine is doing something very odd at the moment anyway. I think it needs a rebuild, which, again, is something I really don't want to do. I absolutely hate with a passion rebuilding Windows, because you just... The thing I used to really like about Mac OS was if, something was going a bit wrong with the operating system, you would just put the disk in, tell it to repair, and it would go through and it would repair all the install stuff, all the OS stuff. And that was good. But Windows, they still do this bloody registry thing, and they still bogs it down after a year or two, and it has to be rebuilt. That's horrible. So, hopefully Windows 9 will be half decent. Windows 8 sucks, man, lumps. Talking of which, on this Windows 7 machine, I have an ATI Radeon card. Now, I have tried recording Wolfenstein with DxStory. DxStory does not register that the game is even running. If you try and search for it in the little drop down on the thing it says it's recording, it will crash it. Good says he's always had problems with DxStory on a lot of games, and in particular DX11 games. Now, I'm pretty sure Wolfenstein is DirectX 11, so that might have something to do with it. Incidentally, there seems to be a lack of options in the options menus for the game. I like to be able to configure a lot of stuff, and there wasn't really that. See, it's renowned for making game engines, and you know what they've built is good. It works well, but clearly they're doing something a little odd, and we need more config options, as I say. I tried it with Fraps. I can't remember why Fraps didn't work, but it didn't. I think it may have just crashed it. OBS, it would shut the game down. No errors, no crashes, just the game just closed as soon as you opened up OBS. I tried, at that point, updating my graphics drivers. It didn't work. There are a lot of people giving suggestions on Twitter, and it's really frustrating because it's like, you know, thanks for giving me you know, suggestions and everything. That's really cool that people are, you know, trying to interact. But it's always really dumb stuff that, you know, if you've been using a computer for a year, let alone for 30 odd that I've been using them, you kind of would have worked that one out pretty quick, you know. So I did all the obvious things, and I say I upgraded the drivers after I was going. So some people saying, "Oh, you shouldn't have upgraded the drivers. There's a problem with the new ones." So it's like, well, there was a problem before I upgraded it, so that clearly wasn't the issue. But always, when you have problems with games, the first thing you do is update your drivers. Any tech support person says, "Oh, have you updated your drivers?" So that wasn't the issue. There's I think of doing it windowed and full screen windowed. I tried both of those. That didn't really help matters a great deal. I managed to start getting it recording somewhat in OBS, but it wasn't happy. At some point, I get it so it was reversed and upside down. That was pretty impressive. So a little hiccup there. I did that once. I don't quite know how I managed that, but it was pretty cool. I also tried F-split. No, I don't like that at all. That wasn't very good. So I tried it on the other machine we got here, which is Windows 8 with an an NVIDIA card. And it kind of got that working. I tried Game Shadow, whatever it is. I didn't seem too happy. Again, that had a lot of config issues, or a lack of config. What's the point? But no, well, that wasn't particularly happy. I got it running kind of properly. Look at that double tuning, and then the USB 3 external hard drive, which I used to record on, decided that it was going to randomly unmount, which Windows 8 does a lot. But the thing about Wolfenstein is it's got this sort of... The first 30 minutes or so are a lot of cutscenes. They're integral to the plot and the setup. And you go 15 minutes through a cutscene, and then you go, well, it's about 10 minutes, and then you have to do something, and you get a bit more cutscene, and you have to do something, and then a bit more cutscene, that sort of thing. So it's quite integral to setting up the storyline and the characters. You need to have it. You can't skip it if you're going to do an LP. And I think I went through that 8 times at least. And it got to the point where I was so sick of seeing the same guys do the same thing. That after the hard drive dropped out, I thought, screw this. Yeah, if you're not going to stay, the hard drive's not going to stay mounted for, the first cutscenes, then I'm not going to keep dropping this in and out. So I played it offline. And it's kind of... I'm a bit snotty this morning. It's that annoying one where it's sort of like not enough to blow anything, but it's at the back of your throat going blah blah blah. It's nice to play a game and not talk over it. I've said many times I love doing Let's Plays. They're fun. It's a nice way to vent about things. It's a nice way to talk to people. And it's a nice way to interact with people. But there is something you lose when playing a game. Anything you do that you enjoy that then becomes a job, it kind of loses a little bit of something. I remember when I started doing graphic design, I used to look at advertising and stuff with some sort of wonderment on how things were done. And that's what drove me to kind of take that up as a career. Most people went and did graphic design, and I went and studied printing and graphic design because that interest in how it was done. I wanted to know, how the ink got on the paper, all that sort of the stuff behind it, and it was a good choice for me in the sense that that has stood me well over the years because I have this background knowledge that a lot of graphic designers don't have, and it helped me, design stuff for print, and just a basic knowledge. Anyway, the point is, once I learned how it all worked, that magic went. It became, oh, I know how that's done. That's lost a little bit of its edge, and it's kind of like a bit like that playing games for Let's Plays. You can't. You guys watching this who don't, do YouTubey stuff. I know there's quite a lot. There's a few of you out there that do have your own channels, but a lot of you don't. When you come home from work, you sit down and you play a game. It's kind of like to unwind, to relax. You just get in the story and you play a bit, and then yeah, great. Go and have your tea and kiss the wife, your mum, whatever. For people like us, it's a little different. It's like, oh, it's Thursday morning. I've got to play this game. This was written down in my itinerary that I've decided to organise myself to do, which is another story entirely. But I've got to play Wolfenstein today, and I'm not really in the mood for it. And it's not a slog, it's not a chore, but it does kind of take that relaxation flow out of it. So it's quite nice to get back in and play a game again just for playing it, not talking over it and not thinking about what you're saying, and just go for it. So that was fun. That was relaxing. It's kind of cut into my recording time, as you probably noticed, but it's cool. Talking of organising, where I used to live, I had this huge whiteboard. It's brilliant. I will tell you a little trick in a minute about whiteboards. But what I will say is, if you are at school, if you are working especially specifically, but especially if you work from home, as self-employed or even employed but work at home. In fact, pretty much if you do anything, get a whiteboard, man. God, they are so good. There's a certain thing to be said for writing things down in a book. Whether you do it formally in some sort of, planner, or whether you're informally on a pad of paper, you just scribble crap down. That is brilliant. I mean, I had a really good memory as a kid. I never wrote anything down, and I got away with it because I had a good memory. But as you get older, A, your memory starts getting a bit, and B, you got more crap you need to deal with. If I go to a maths lesson, I need to remember how to do this. Once you work that out, you need to write that stuff down. As things get more complicated, you get further in your lessons. You start at A levels or your higher or whatever you do, whatever country you're in, degrees, masters, PhDs, whatever. It gets more complicated. There's more stuff in. You need to write more down. Obviously, if you're doing PhDs, then obviously you're not writing things down on a whiteboard or a scrap of paper. You're actually doing those in a formal manner. But for basic things like, okay, I need to do this today, I need to do that tomorrow. If you write it and start writing things in a pad, you start losing it. You have to flip through it and stuff. Whiteboards are just the greatest thing in the world. This is my tip for probably younger people, but get your shit organized. It will change your life. And that little bit of effort of writing something down on the whiteboard, it just negates so much work later on. So much grief, so much hassle, so much stress. It's just a little investment of time that will make your life so much easier. So much easier. But, now here's the thing. A decent big whiteboard is quite expensive. And I'm pretty sure if you said to your parents, I want to put a whiteboard on my wall so I can be more organised, they would love to help. That's the sort of thing that most parents want to hear. But a big whiteboard is expensive. But here is an awesome tip. What I did, my whiteboard was, what do you call it? Safety glass, like windscreens have. It was frosted glass, so it was white. Obviously frosted on the back, so you can write on the front with the marker pens, and a nice pine wood frame around it. It was 6 foot by 3 foot. Cost me £5. How do you do that? Well, I'm glad you asked. Go to IKEA. Go to the bargain corner. I can't believe I'm telling people this because this is my secret that I do all the time. And look at the selection of spare doors. Now, sometimes they'll have a bit of a chip in the corner, whatever. Pfft, who gives a toss? You can sand it down, fill it, and paint it if you like. It doesn't matter. The point is, you get these big-ass glass doors that are, on their own. Nobody wants a wardrobe door on its own. You always want pairs. So, blammo, they're selling them off piss cheap. And then what I did is I drilled a hole in in the middle of each corner of the frame, and I've got some big mirror mounting screws. Now they are usually flathead screws, and they've got a hole drilled in the middle of the head with a thread in it, and you get these little sort of chromed plastic domes that screw into the top of that. So you drill holes in the wall, put wall plugs in, screw it in, so it's nice and firmly on the wall, and you put these little dome plugs on top, and it looks lovely and pretty, and it costs you shit all. And yeah, you can get a permanent marker, and then you can draw lines on that, and so you can segment it off, and you can right, for me, it's like, what games am I playing? When am I recording it? When is it supposed to go up? Have I rendered it yet? Have I uploaded it yet? Things like that. Or just doctor's appointment for Thursday. Scribble it down as you walk past. It's lovely to write on these things. It's just much. It's almost as, but not quite, almost as good as drawing on a banana with a ballpoint pen. But there you go. Now, I had this fantastic one, as I say. It was huge. It was lovely. When I moved, I put it. I had the van parked out the back, and I was putting all my boxes and stuff in it. And I put that in. I leaned it up against the wall because it's fragile. I wanted to put it somewhere safe, but while I was still loading up boxes, I sort of propped it up against the inside of the van to wait for a space where I could put it in. It would be safe. And then the neighbour knocked on the door and wanted to get past the van, so I had to pull the van out and park it around the front. Completely forgot that I had this thing in the back. Got around all the way down the back, because the house I was living in had a kind of driveway at the back that allowed rear access to all the gardens. Then I should go all the way down that sort of muddy dirt track, out onto the road. The road was like a side road, so I had to go onto the main road around the front of the house. I got all the way to pulling up to park, and as I pulled into the parking space, I had this bang. I went around the back of the van, and of course the thing had fallen over. And because it was this safety glass, it shattered like a car windscreen, and it's just little tiny cubes of glass everywhere. Because it bangs, it goes boom and flies it off in all directions. So there was once I ended up unloading the van at destination. There was a while of me just vacuuming the back of this van, which is obviously a pain in the bum, and I lost that. But fantastic as that whiteboard was, there's nowhere really to put it in here anyway, so it wasn't the end of the world. But I miss it, and I do struggle without it. So yesterday I managed to pick up a teeny tiny, I mean it's not much bigger than A4, whiteboard and pen from the Pound shop. So it was £1. There is no IKEA near me, unfortunately. I mean, there's nothing stopping you going to IKEA and getting like a cupboard door from, like kitchen cupboard or something like that. A small one that's like 3 foot square or something like that. You get what fits your house. It's just got to be glass, really. And if it's plain glass, you can buy frosted sticky back stuff from hardware stores and whatever, so you could do that. Make your own. But that's my tip for the week. I hope you enjoyed that. I now have a whiteboard. It's not very good, but hopefully I'll get my shit together. There you go. That'll probably do for today. There was a few other things I wanted to talk about, but you know what? I've rambled on by far long enough. I'm going to keep doing this, as I say. By all means, throw in your your guesses as to what I'm building. You're not going to guess it from here, but anybody who guesses it in the month of June, I will double the prize. The prize is, as it stands, a month's patron at Play Mindcrack, which is worth it. Well worth it. And if you haven't gone, do go to Play Mindcrack. That is us.playmindcrack.com on your servers list in Minecraft. We've got some new games. DVZ has been reworked, and we have videos of that. It is fantastic now. Much better than it was. It was a great game before, but now it is superb. Do note though, it's probably going to take 45 minutes for a game. Don't do what some guy did yesterday. Come on, become the Bruce Willikers hero, which has loads of really cool superpowers. There's like 3 heroes now. There's Bruce, there's Nissavan, who is OP in my opinion, and Romain, who has lots of fire things. They get extra attacks and stuff. But anybody can be one of those randomly when you join. But yes, this guy came in, was Bruce, and then 5 minutes later decided that his mummy called him to go for dinner. And that completely ruined the game because you need the heroes. Bruce Willikers has got this horn that he blows every 3 minutes or so that gives you all like strength buffs and speed and all that sort of stuff. And he'd gone. He's just pissed off. And that left everybody without these buffs, and it made the game very difficult. Well, not very difficult, but it made it harder. So, yeah, if you are going to join that, be aware that you're going to have to play some time. There is Camelot, which is a new game, which is sort of like a King of the Hill kind of game, essentially. It's knights and archers and berserkers. Each got different sort of skills. Again, we're putting videos out of these, so if they're not out already, they will be out on my channel, and I did a lot with Blue, so there'll be some on hers as well. But yeah, that's a fun game, but that's a 15-minute game. There are some Pajama Jam Time is like a sort of mini game area that's coming out next month, I think, along with some other stuff. So do check those out as well. But yeah, if you haven't been there, do go us.playmindcrack.com. It's good fun, and it all. And anybody who gets Patreon, you get some sort of perks and stuff. It's not a play to win server. Very strong about that, and stuff will go to help Mindcrack as well. It's stuff like that pays for the servers now, and it costs good an awful lot of money to set up, an awful lot of money, and it's not making money yet. So, well, it was, then it kind of died out a bit, but hopefully this new rebuild is going to help a lot. So go there, support. You don't have to buy Patreon, obviously. Just go there, turn up, tell your friends. The more people that are there, the better, frankly. The more fun the games are. And you will see myself and Blue there, and some other dudes as well. So come along, have fun. And on that note, I will see you guys next episode. I will try and get more of these out now. I've said this before, I know. I was kind of a bit down on the vanilla thing because I was just bored of digging this hole, but now I'm starting doing this build. I want to get it done, so hopefully I should have a bit more impetus to do this, which is good. I'll find things to talk about though. That's the hard bit. I'll just sit here and say, oh look, I'm clicking a block. I know some people have made very lucrative careers out of that, but that's not how I work. What else? Yes, thank you to Patreon people. I have a new series on that I've just started. That is a pain in the buttocks to try and sort out because Patreon haven't done a scheduled release thing, so I have to kind of manually do it, and it would be really nice if I could do that, because then I could just set these things to get this time and everybody be regular and you'd know when was coming out what was coming out when, and it just make life easier for all of us, but they haven't done that yet. But I've got my usual series on that is unique, and I have started a second little mini short series which I've recorded a lot of. I need to go and finish off that. I used to do my Batman as well, I did some the other day, but yeah, that's going well. Thank you, everybody. You get paid on that monthly, and they are almost PayPal-like in their fees, which is a little distressing, really. But we're going to get away from that. But thank you to everybody that supports me on Patreon. That's brilliant. It has doubled my income. Still not something I can live off, but it certainly makes life a lot easier than it was, for sure. And I think people, from the feedback I've got, like that method of support as well, which is good. So, thank you, you guys. There is a new crack pack coming, talking of which, it might even be out by the time we've done this. And there is some more games that I want to do. Transistor I've got. This is annoying. I had to make a choice, really, between Transistor and Wolfenstein. They both came out on May the 20th. And I went for Wolfenstein. I saw Transistor at PAX East and blown away by it. It looked really good, but I know Beef was recording it, and I think there's not really a great deal of point in recording a game and releasing it at the same time as Beef, because he is a view black hole. I mean, Etho is a view black hole on UHC for sure, but I think just in general terms, Beef would have taken all the views, so not worth doing that. But now it's been a little bit later on. I'm not getting away with doing that. I got given a free key for that, so that's fantastic. Really generous of them. So, I should take that up. I only got that last week anyway. So. And then somebody suggested Pixel Boy, which I'd look at. It looked like that was fun. It was pretty cheap, so I picked that up. I'd quite like to do that as well. But it's all time, and it. I'll try and fit these things in. Anyway, look at this, like 40 minutes gabbing on. Thank you guys very much. I will leave it here, and I'll come back soon, and I will see you guys next episode. Thank you very much. Goodbye.